In Chapter 6 of Social Studies, we are talking about how goods are made and brought to us. And goods is one of the words that we are learning. Remember, goods are things that can be bought, sold, and traded. And one thing that we'll talk about today is how goods travel in different ways. And we'll talk about the different ways that they get to stores. So, how goods are brought to stores. Goods are loaded onto trucks at farms and at factories. In our last section that we read about on Monday, we talked about how farmers grow our food because farmers grow most of our food for us. Some of us have our own gardens at home, but farmers grow most of our food. So all of that food at farms has to be brought to us in some way unless we go to the actual farm ourselves or we visit a farmer's market. So goods are loaded onto trucks at farms and at factories. So we also read about factories that people and even machines make many goods in factories. So the trucks take the goods to warehouses. The goods stay there until it's time for them to be brought to stores. Think about that word warehouses. You've probably seen them before. We even have a big Meijer warehouse not too far from our school. And I was not a Meijer store, but it's a warehouse. So when Meijer runs out of items in the actual store, the big Meijer truck, right, goes to the warehouse and stocks up on things and then brings it to the different Meijer stores. Maybe you know somebody who works there. Maybe you've driven by it. Maybe it's near your house. It's really close to our school. You've probably even driven on the freeway before and have passed other warehouses for big stores before. So to bring goods to stores, people use many different kinds of transportation. That's one of our vocabulary words. For example, some goods travel in planes, some goods cross oceans in ships, and some goods travel by train. Some goods are driven in trucks. So I want to talk about that vocabulary word that's bolded in the blue letters, transportation. Transportation is how things are moved from place to place. And the things that we are talking about are the goods, the goods that are brought to stores from farms and factories. And the transportation that they have a picture of in the book is a big semi-truck. And we see these on the road all the time. One of my grandfathers was a truck driver and transported goods himself. Maybe you know somebody who does that too. We see trucks all the time with big logos on the sides, right, for lots of different companies, and that's what they are doing. They are transporting goods from all over the country. But it is true that some goods have to cross oceans. And in order to do that, they do that in ships and even planes. Goods do travel by trains too. So how do you think the goods in your home were brought to stores? The next section that we're going to read about says, from around the world to our community. All over the world, people grow and make the goods we need and want. Some goods come from India, some goods come from Japan. Goods come from many countries. We use transportation to move goods from one place to another. So not everything that we use comes from right here in America, right? The books or clothes or the technology that we have, some things are made here in the United States and some things are not. So some things are made in, like they have listed, India, Japan, and that could be from food, right? There is specialty foods from like fruits and vegetables that maybe need to be transported across the ocean. So not everything is grown here or made here in the United States, and vice versa. There are other countries that may get things from our country as well. And so those goods are transported from one place or one country to another. And that has to be done usually by boat, ship, or plane because it's going so far away. Just like the title or heading says, from around the world to our community. Can you name any goods that are made in other countries? Also, can you name any goods that are made right here in the United States? Maybe you know somebody that has handmade something for you. Maybe you've been to an arts and craft fair before. Maybe you know somebody that can knit, right? Those are goods. Maybe you know somebody that can make something like candles or soap, and they sell them. Those are goods. Our last heading, from the store to you. We buy some goods we need and want in stores. There are many kinds of stores. Some stores sell food, some stores sell clothes. Some stores sell toys. Many stores sell lots of different things. Can you name different kinds of stores in your community? What are some of your favorites? Some of my favorites are Horrocks. I love to go to Horrocks to get coffee. They have really good popcorn. They have beautiful flowers. I also like to go to Target. Do you have a favorite store near you? What do you like to get there? I'm also going to read the box right here that I will kind of outline in yellow that says summary. It says, we buy most of the goods we need and want. Farmers grow food for us. Factory workers make goods for us. Goods travel to stores by planes, ships, trains, and trucks. We buy food, clothes, toys, and other goods at stores in our community. So that summary kind of wraps up all of what we've learned in a really small section from this entire chapter. It doesn't include all of the details. It's just kind of the main ideas from the whole chapter. Today, for your social studies activity, you are going to design your own toy factory. First, decide on a simple toy you could make in your factory. You will think about a name for your company. In the seesaw activity, there will be a spot for you to write the name of your factory on the sign. You will draw pictures to show how you make your product. Show each step as a separate picture. On the second page, you will plan how your toy will get from the factory to the stores. You will want to draw 5 pictures. 1, draw the factory. 2, you will see an arrow going from 1 to 2. Draw the transportation from the factory to the warehouse. Then you'll see an arrow going from box 2 to 3. In box 3, draw the warehouse. From 3 to 4, you see an arrow. In box 4, draw the transportation from the warehouse to the store. And then our last arrow going from box 4 to 5, draw the store. This is your activity today. Once again, you can always do this on a separate piece of paper.